Elise recognized something in his speech that reminded her of northern folk. But she'd never seen a northerner like this. They were recognizable by their clothing first, and then by their manner of speech. She'd heard of a race of little folk who lived in the far north, deep in secluded valleys, she was told, but she'd never met any. "Has your journey here been from the north, or am I mistaken?" she ventured. Trophin found himself suddenly dragged from his shelter and held aloft by a grinning foreseen soldier. The man turned and faced his mates, proudly exhibiting his prize at arm's length. "Look what I snared, comrades!" he chortled. "On has given us a gift to aid us in our labours on our return home," he continued, as his cohorts hooted in approval. Trophin was tied up hand and foot, while his captors discussed what to do with their prize. If Trophin had been in possession of a clear head, he would have been quite distressed at his situation. But by now he was in such a state of delirium that he blurted out, "Who there? Got a drink, anybody? Oh!" The soldiers laughed heartily, believing Trophin to be asking for alcohol. That was certainly what they would have wanted in his circumstance. "Ha ha!" Bordal laughed. "Do you think we have spirits to waste on a little spot like you?" "Oh, I think he wants water," offered a soldier whose sleep had been interrupted by all the commotion. "You give it to him, then," said Bordal disdainfully. The soldier stood and filled a cup from his water-bag and brought it over to Trophin, who gazed at it through blurry eyes. His head was wobbling about on his neck, as though he were indeed drunk. "You look as though you've had spirits already, fella. But since I see that you are Gennish, I suspect what you need is simply water. Am I correct?" said the soldier. "Yes, sir. Wasser," slurred Trophin, who, with half-closed eyes, began to smile broadly as the soldier held the cup for him to take the longed-for drink. Almost immediately Trophin's head began to clear, his eyes opening slightly. After a few minutes he looked at the soldier who sat beside him and said with a grateful tone, "You showed me kindness, sir. Your name, might I have it?" "I'm called Tristram. Clearly you are from Jen. What is your name and that of your village?" he said, pouring some more water into the cup. "Oh, I am Trophin. My village is called Arrington." Treston paused, smiled, and with a slight look of nostalgia said, "Ah, I visited your village many years ago. I found your people kind and gentle." He looked up and heard a command given to the foreseen archers. "Ready! Fire!" A whoosh of arrows flew overhead. He looked in the direction of their flight and saw the Agan banners waving furiously on the opposite bank of the stream. Too furiously, he thought. Some of their fluttering was now produced not by the wind, but by the rippling surface that had materialized. The sound of the arrows in flight abruptly stopped, replaced by a clattering noise as they struck the interior of the dome. Nearly all fell harmlessly into the stream, while some were cut in two. Only a handful of the arrows escaped the dome entirely, and of those none hit their marks. Down on the eastern plains, Drance had made the decision to push his spent horses no further. He dismounted, led them to a small stream nearby, and patted them down as they drank. When the scouts caught up with him in the late afternoon, Drance surrendered without a fight. His captors were particularly annoyed that they would be returning with only one prisoner. "Where are the others?" demanded one of the soldiers. "What others were you thinking of?" said Drance. "Don't play with me, Agan spy. Where are your accomplices?" "I'm not a spy. I'm a soldier of Agan. I do not associate with spies," he said. "Oh, it's no use," said another of the scouts. "Let's head back. We'll make him talk at the camp." They bound Drance and tied him to his horse. As spent as the horse was, it could only maintain a slow walk. The scouts reckoned it would take them up to 2 days to return to their camp.